Greetings, I am Tom Earl. Welcome to the celebration. I know you could be anywhere. So the fact that you are here today means the absolute world to me. Today, what we are going to talk about is I have decided after reflection and meditation and going for walks and thinking about it, I've heard or from within listened to and decided what this will be my year of. So we will go into that and the things, the intentions, the goals, all of those things I have for what this will be my year of. Before we do that though, you know how we like to get started, to align our breath, our intentions with our energy. If the mind is a kite, our breath is the string. What that means is that we can always use the breath as our friend to get into alignment with the level of energy we are looking for, whether it's to get pumped up and excited or to calm down and get into a relaxed and intentional place. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to breathe in through our nose, and as we breathe in, we're going to reach, think, stretch, or point up. And as we breathe out, we're going to release anything that we've been carrying that instead we want to find peace with instead. So here we go. Breathe in and release. One more time. Breathe in and release. This next one, I want you to put your hand on your heart. Feel it pumping. If you're driving and you can't put your hand on your heart, that's okay. Just feel the power of your heart within you. Recognize that it just keeps on beating without you even asking it to. I want you to extend that gratitude. What is something else in your life that brings you blessings and abundance without you having to even do anything? Without you having to work for it, that it is always there for you. Is it blinking? Is it breathing? Is it the fact that food just continues to grow, nutrients, life continues to happen, that the sun sets and rises every single day without you having to do anything, and the moon continues its cycles in tune with the waves and the ocean and all of the things around the world, or gravity, that you don't have to do anything, that because the earth is spinning and we are standing still, rather than floating, we remain grounded. What is that thing you are grateful for that just goes along every single day in your favor? And we're going to breathe in one more time. Here we go. Breathe in and release. I don't know about you, but this continually aligns me, continually allows me to come into a place of positive energy. And even if it's just selfishly for me, it allows me then to be able to speak to you in a way that is more flowing, where I get my thinking and conscious and mind out of the way and just let whatever's meant to come through. So what is this my year of? I originally had thought that it was going to be my year of something else. If you recall that I said that I don't think of what is this my year of until I'm in 2018. Because otherwise I'm bringing 2017, I'm bringing last year's thoughts and visions and all that. And I'm saying this is what it's got to be. And so while I was in 2017 and I was thinking, well, what will 2018 be my year of? It was something totally different. And then I was just sitting there and I realized, this is what it'll be. And it was one of those feelings. Have you ever had that where you were thinking on something and the answer just wasn't coming to you, so you just let it go? And you stopped thinking about it, and all of a sudden in the middle of something else, the answer just came to you. Maybe it was you were having a conversation with somebody and you were trying to remember a singer's name or a historian's name, or you're trying to remember somebody's name, and you're like, I'll think of it later. So then you move on, and then right as you're about to fall asleep, you're like, that's their name. It's the same thing with problems, quote unquote, in our life. That if we're focused on the problem, or if we're obsessed with finding the answer, then all our attention is on what is. And what we're trying to do is when we find a solution is to create. And so we can't give our attention to what is if we're going to create what is to become. And so we have to let go of that energy. We have to bring our focus to something else, relax it, and boom, that's when it comes to you. And that's what happened for me. So let me grab, so you can see, what will this be my year of? Drum roll, please. Brrr, this is my year of courage. 2018 is going to be my year of courage. I just want you to sit with that for a little bit. Resonate with that. That if you want to go on this journey with me, each podcast, each episode I do, everything I do this year is going to be intentional and in reflection of courage. I believe it was in one of the previous episodes where I said quotes that guide me. One of them is Maya Angelou's, where she says that courage is the most important virtue. For if we're going to practice any other virtues consistently, you need courage. And that's really where it came out of for me. One of the big things that I want courage, or one of the big things that I want in life, is to trust that life is happening for me rather than to me. That if I listen, that if I get in tune, the next step is actually the easiest. That my flow, that the pathway I'm trying to walk is actually downstream. That those times where I'm treading water and I'm going against the stream and it's really hard and I hate it, that's not the normal, that's not the natural way to move through solutions. Whether you're something with your body or animals in nature, we're always looking for the path of least resistance. If you ever grow houseplants, you'll notice that the plant starts to lean into where the sun shines, so that it has to do the least amount of energy and the least amount of effort to get the most amount of nutrients it needs in its life. The plant doesn't say, well, that's just too easy. That's lazy. That's not pulling yourself up by your bootstraps. I know what I need to do. I need to lean away from the sun. And then every day, I'll prove to myself and all the other plants around me that I survived because I took the hardest pathway every single time. And yet, we find ourselves doing that time and time again. I know I find myself doing that. And so originally, this was going to be my year focused on that energy, on ease, on downstream. And I realized that to do that, I needed courage. That it was going to take courage for me to do that. It's going to take courage for me to do many of the other things that I want to do, to use my voice, to use my energy, to use whatever I have to make the world a better place, to change my language so that my language is in line with my values, to focus on my behaviors so that my behaviors are embodying, are demonstrating the values and the intentions that I hold, so that ultimately my actions are all embedded, are all contained with wonderful nutrients and life energy that is the desires that I have towards being someone who is a resource, a spark or an inspiration for transformation and joy to anyone around me, and most importantly to myself. So I realized I need courage to do that. And so think for yourself, if you're going to take this journey with me, what is it about courage that resonates with you? What is it about courage that brings something up? I've been saying it to a couple of people. I said, what's this going to be your year of? First, it was your year of expression. That was 2016. Then it was your year of balance. That was last year, 2017. What's this going to be your year of? And when I figured it out, I said, it's going to be my year of courage. And a lot of people I've told it to, I could just see on their face that they deeply resonated with that. And I think a lot of us resonate with the power of courage. So what for you is it specifically or generally? Or what is the feelings that come up when you hear the word courage? I have some things this year that I want to do with courage. As we go through this year of the celebration of both the Celebration Academy and the podcast that accompanies it, here's some things that I want to do. First is, I want to be curious. I don't want to come to the year of courage with any answers. I'm not coming to the year of courage thinking that I have all the solutions. I'm going to try not to bring any preconceived notions. Now, I've been saying a lot of I'm nots. So let's say what I am going to do. Oftentimes, it's easier to say what we don't want or what we're not going to do, but we don't put any energy into what we do want or what we are going to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be curious. I'm going to be open-minded. I'm going to have that curiosity of a child. If you ever see little kids, they see a flower and there's a butterfly on it. They run to it and they're just so, oh my gosh, this is so cool. And then they look over here and they're like, oh my gosh, there's a stream. And they go look at the stream and there's this little thing on the ground. And it's just so fun. They just explore life and they satiate the journey. There's no end in mind where, well, I want to look at this flower because I need to do this. It's just enjoying the journey and loving it and just liking the art of manifesting even more than what becomes manifested through that art. That's the kind of curiosity that I want to bring to this year of courage. Some of the things I'm curious about, of course, is what is courage? Is it something we can define? Of course, I've heard many conversations on courage that its Latin root means to be wholehearted, to come with your whole heart. But then what does that mean? What does that mean to live with your whole heart? Brené Brown, she has a lot of awesome content and conversations on courage, especially around vulnerability. But I just want to come with a new perspective because when I was learning what courage is, when I gained those tidbits I just shared with you, that was a different Tom. I want to know with the Tom I am today or the Tom I'm going to be in 3 months, what does that Tom think courage is? And how do you bring courage into your life? How does it become something you can consistently and continually practice? And if we're looking for the path of least resistance, if we're looking for the journey where it's ease, like the flower, like the plants, leaning into the sun rather than trying to do it at a hard way to prove it to somebody, what is a way I can bring courage into my life and maintain it consistently in a way that feels supernatural to me and really easy? And it's just something you do like the way I write with my right hand, that it's just what I do. How can I bring courage into my life in that kind of way where it is an ingrained habit that is enjoyable, I don't have to think about? I want to find some courage like that. What I did actually is there was a night where I was awake. It was around 5 a.m. and I realized, got some inspiration in this brain of mine. So I got out of bed, and if you've seen my recent Facebook post, I talked about that if you can't sleep, instead of fighting it, instead of resisting it, realize that it's your brain telling you that it has something it wants to consciously process rather than subconsciously while you're asleep. And so instead of getting mad and frustrated, just wake up, get relaxed, watch a TV show or read or do something that just genuinely brings you enjoyment or relaxation. And usually that thing your brain's trying to process just comes to you. And this is what came to me. I wrote down a free write of what am I curious about courage? What curiosity do I have? A free write is where you write without stopping. You don't stop to edit it. You don't do any of those kind of things. So this is my free write for courage. I just wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote without stopping. And this is actually the first time I'm going to read it out loud. And so I want to share with you and demonstrate that journaling or expressing yourself in this way, as you know, if you listened to last week's replay of the expression session, such a good way to get from what's inside out on a piece of paper, rather than trying to say, I want a perfect poem memorized, I'm going to perform it, really wow everybody who's listening to the celebration. Just wanted to share with you some of my thoughts, okay? So here we go. This is what I wrote, a free write on what I'm curious about for courage. What is courage? Is it grit? Is it fire? Is it a storm? Is it staring down a tiger yelling, "Give me all of it"? Is it peaceful? Is it vulnerable? Is it calm? Is it loud or quiet? Is it private or public? Is it truth or a secret? Is it magic or is it reality? Is it ordinary or extra? Is it orderly or chaotic? What does courage look like specifically for me? Specifically for you? Is it found in those deep conversations you never thought you could start? Is it being a part of something bigger than yourself? Is it the first time you raised your hand and shared the words in your mind? Is it finding the internal strength to say out loud, "I am bigger than my addiction or my past or my circumstances, my hurts or my cries, my tears, my sighs"? Is it owning a truth stranger than fiction? Is it finding peace and acceptance in the middle of a sleepless night? Is it might or is it flexible? Is it strength or is it calm? Perhaps it's all of these, a blend, a combination, a meeting in the middle. Maybe it depends upon the day or the mood or the person or the hour. Is it a warm shower after a long, cold journey you went at alone? Is it finding the ability to voice, "I need help, please"? Is it the morning after your life fell to pieces, getting out of bed when you feel you don't have it all together? Showing face after a public failure? Is it loving again after heartbreak? Is it deciding to bake some homemade bread and give it to your neighbors, knocking on the door and introducing yourself, saying, "Hi, my name is"? Is it kindness? Is it setting boundaries? Is it saying you go first? Is it claiming your time? Does it perfectly rhyme, wrap up nicely, and tell a good story? Does it entertain audiences for centuries, or is it meandering, confusing, maybe even sometimes jarring? What is courage truly? Because I'm curious. Is it something you can turn into as a list of ingredients that when mixed together creates deliciousness? Is it possible to invent a formula that is scientific, peer-reviewed, documented and backed up with evidence, irrefutable? Is this even possible? Or is it unique, personable, sometimes even unexplainable, more of a feeling, a whim, an intuition, a private journey, a silent internal conversation? Or are we back to our hypothesis that all of this might sometimes be in the middle? Does it involve the heart, the soul, the brain? Once you discover it, how does it become something you can consistently maintain? I dare say I may have just created more questions than answers, but then again, isn't that how the best of adventures always begin? So I will not become discouraged. Instead, I will trust the process. I pray for patience, passion, and guidance. And most of all, on this joyful quest, I ask for courage. Yay! That felt really good reading that. Whew. I hope you enjoyed that one as well. That has a list, or that really detailed for me what is courage. I would just be being redundant by repeating the things I said in the poem, but it exemplifies for me what am I curious about when it comes to courage. And so I would ask you to do the same. Do a free write. Write down without stopping for 3 to 5 minutes. What are you curious about courage? Ask a bunch of questions. Think about it. Or when you're going for a walk today, or if you're driving home from work, why not take the first 5 minutes, or maybe the middle 5, listen to something that'll calm you down after work, and then for a little bit, just say out loud to yourself in the car, nobody will know, what is courage? Have a conversation with yourself about what you're curious about for courage. The next thing is that during the year of courage, while I'm curious, I'm going to be an explorer. I want to explore the things that I am curious about. Here's how I plan to do that. First and foremost, listening to my inner voice. The way I will do that is that every week, I'm going to set aside a minimum of half a day. Or sometimes, as you can see, I need courage even when I said that. Set aside half a day. This is me being transparent. My goal is a half a day, but a minimum of 2 hours a week. I'm going to set aside where I'm going to just follow my whims, my inner voice, what I hear being called to. Sometimes that might be take a 2-hour nap. Sometimes that might be go on a 2-hour walk. Sometimes that might be have a 2-hour rabbit hole on YouTube or Google. Obviously, this hand motion is what a rabbit hole is. Whatever my inner voice tells me to do, because it's one of the best ways to get in tune with the voice within you, because that's where the knowledge, where you're connected to the infinity. So that's one way I'm going to explore and see what comes up from that. Another way is that what I'm going to experiment with doing throughout this year is adding in some 5 to 10 minute episodes within the celebration called Courage Talks. And what I'm going to do is have conversations with people where I'm going to ask them, what is courage to you? What does courage look like in your life? What is an example of a time where you were courageous? And then I'll share a little clip, a small story that you can listen to throughout your week outside of these longer episodes. I plan to keep it brief, 5 to 15 minutes. As you can see, I just added on another 5, but I'm going to keep those brief. And I really want to explore through conversations and community, what does courage look like for the everyday person in our everyday lives? What is courage? I'm going to explore it through different books and whatever ways come up. I really don't know. I just know that I want to explore it and then share it with you. The next thing I'm going to do during the year of courage is I'm going to be curious and I'm going to explore that curiosity. And through that, I hope to connect with people and figure out what is it that we have in common about courage. I have a feeling that listening to other people's stories of courage is going to create some deep meaning within us. The power of storytelling, the power of listening through a story can sometimes be hypnotic because it just relaxes us, it soothes us, it allows us to see ourselves reflected back in a way that's safe. And so I know through that I'm going to connect with people. And I hope you're able to connect with the people that I'm sharing with you. And through that, I hope we connect with some truths that a part of us already knew within us, but we just needed to say it out loud to connect with it consciously. And so in addition to being curious and exploring, I hope my year of courage, or my intention is that my year of courage connects me with answers I already have within me, connects me with people that I'm meant to be in community with. And I hope that it connects you with the answers that you are looking for and the truths that you already have within you that will answer those. The last thing I'm going to do is expand. We are at the edge of expansion. We are leaders in this world of growth. And I know that my year of courage is going to allow me amazing opportunities to grow and to expand, to lean even deeper into who I am, to find comfort, home, and safe space, and trusting my voice. Finding comfort in the fact that life is here as a school for me to learn from, and that I'm supposed to find enjoyment in that learning. That this process we were here for, the reason we are here, that a part of it is to find pleasure in the experience, even when we're working to make the world a better place, on issues that are serious or are of concern, that the solution is found when we get into that place of peace and pleasure. That is where the creativity comes from, that we can apply even to situations that are very serious. And so that is what I'm looking to do on my year of courage this year. And I hope you join me on it. And any thoughts you have, any suggestions, anything that came up from this episode or of hearing this will be my year of courage, I really hope you share them with me either at tom@tomearl.com. That's my email. All of my social media is at Tom Earl, E-A-R-L, Tom Earl Artist. So you want to send me a snap, you want to message me on Instagram, let me know, what is this going to be your year of? And if you're going along on this journey with me of Year of Courage, what does that mean and look like for you? As usual, we'll have a podcast coming out or a video episode, whether you're listening to it or watching it, comes out every Friday. Those will range from interviews to replays of workshops and some one-on-one time we're doing right now. Every Friday, those range from 30 minutes to an hour and a half. And then throughout the week, I will share some 5 to 10, at the most, 15-minute clips of conversations I've had with people of what does courage look like in their life. For now, we're calling it Courage Talks. We'll see if that's what it's called by the end of the year. But those will just be little fun ways for you to check in for a couple of minutes throughout the week in between episodes and have something a little different to see what does courage look like for the everyday person. If you'd like to be one of those people that I ask, what does courage look like to you? Let me know. Email me, tom@tomearl.com, and let me know and we will connect. My friends, this has been an absolute pleasure. I hope you also go on this journey with us as members of the Celebration Academy. As you know, it's the online leadership academy that I founded with the intention of connecting people with their gifts and their purpose. Our philosophy is the same as I've shared during this podcast, that learning, that life, that the answers for you are found in your next easiest, most peaceful, and the path of least resistance type steps. That what we're trying to do is get you to connect with your inner voice, because that's where the answers are, in your intuition, your whims. And then after that, if you want any skills that are more hands-on in terms of social media management or leadership development, conflict mediation, relationship development, anything like that, we have courses like that for you. Our most recent course is at this time, Manifest Your Adventure. If you'd like a free month of membership, if you want to check it out, give it a test run, tomearl.com/courses, and you'll see a link right there for free 30 days membership. So I hope you join us and go along with that as well. My friends, this has been an absolute pleasure sharing with you what my year will be. I hope that you are having a wonderful, fulfilling, joyful, and grateful day. And as always, I'm wishing you peace and blessings. Thank you.